Well, there's Leah.
Yes, Leah with her new
And
bag.
see that city back there?
Oh,
That's New Orleans.
yes.
We're going to go check that out. It's been many, many years, like 30 some years since we've been to New Orleans with the kids last time, and Bourbon Street wasn't really kid friendly, so we thought we'd revisit it, and
We'll let you know.
yeah, we'll let you know. We got a good parking place here, right here, downtown New Orleans, right there. $10, 24 hours, and you can camp there. And we talked to these campers over there, and they said that yeah, very quiet. So what a deal! So here we go.
Blues, this is the Basin Street they're talking about. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing that to you guys. It'll be really weird, awkward, and uncomfortable for everybody involved. St. Louis Cemetery number 1 coming up on our right. This is the oldest remaining cemetery in the city, dating to 1789. It is an active cemetery. There are a couple of burials there just a couple of weeks ago. So, sorry, 6 drivers out today. What that means for you guys is when you hop off the bus, you know another bus will be long in about 20-25 minutes. All 19 of our stops are open today, so feel free to hop off and on as often as you like. Just remember, as you do get into the late afternoon hours, if you do hop off the bus, make sure you hop back on in time to get to where you need to be at the end of the day. Buses do stop running all over the city, 5:30 p.m. You're clear, Lita.
Sorry. This is just
A look to the 1920s. Very Art Deco, very, very beautiful. And when Broadway comes to New Orleans, they come to the Sanger Theater, and right now it's Mamma Mia. For instance, if you wanted to watch a nice sunset tonight, you could actually go over to the west bank of the Mississippi River, turn around, look at the east bank, watch the sunset over the east bank of the Mississippi River. Which means for a sunrise, stay here on the east bank, look to the west bank, see the sunrise over the west bank of the Mississippi River. So because of our mixed up directions, we tend to only use north, south, east, and west in names, such as North Shore, South Shore, East Bank, West Bank. As we head through this intersection, on our left, Bourbon Street, named for the Bourbon family of France, not for the drink. It just kind of worked out really, really well that way. So for our directions, we use riverbound, Riverside, that's the direction we're headed. Lakebound, Lakeside, that's the direction behind us. Upriver to the right-hand side of the bus, downriver to the left-hand side. Now when the Americans moved into the city, they settled on the right-hand side of the bus this year. Though we didn't get along so much so we didn't even share the street names. So you'll see on our left, you have charters coming out of the French Quarter crossing the American side and becoming camp. Even behind us, world-famous Bourbon Street. When that leaves the French Quarter crossing.
Well, I braved the weather and came up on top.
So coming up on our right is a gray and white building, has some Corinthian columns, a couple of statues out in front. So here it comes on our right, Le Pavillon Hotel. Beautiful old hotel, but they have a very interesting collection of artifacts inside. One of those artifacts being one of Napoleon's bathtubs.
Oh, really?
So Napoleon was obsessed with a couple of things, not just war, but also bathing. At a time when people were taking baths on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, Napoleon was taking up to 15 baths a day. So to accomplish this, he actually had to have 3 bathtubs. One is now in a museum in France, one is in Le Pavillon. We're not really sure what happened to the third one. Now the one they have in Le Pavillon, he was actually in that bathtub when he signed the Louisiana Purchase. The block for 2 brick buildings, and then right here on the corner, the building with the orange trim. All right, so here we go. The 2 brick buildings, the building with the orange trim, considered to be the birthplace of jazz. That is where greats like Jelly Roll Morton, King Buddy Bolden, and Louis Armstrong got their start. All right, we're going to start our detour for the Superdome. You're good. So eventually the number inside the dome rose to more than 30,000 people, only 300 National Guardsmen inside, and not enough supplies for that number of people for any amount of time. Pack on their back, they are then supposed to try and climb over the side of a boat, get to shore, all while not being shot. It's when they were very vulnerable. So Mr. Higgins came up with what became known as the Higgins boat. And if you saw the movie Saving Private Ryan, you saw these boats in action. Everybody could be in a standing position inside the boat, packed together tightly, weapons in hand, ready to go. Boats could pull up close to the shore. Part of the boat would drop down, act as a ramp. Everybody could take off in a full run. These boats were considered instrumental in saving thousands of lives, not only on D-Day, but what is its significance? How did it end up here? First of all, not my decision. Second, it was because of the Higgins boat. The World War II Museum started out as a D-Day museum. What better place to put a D-Day museum than where the Higgins boat was created? It kind of morphed over time into a World War II museum. So now you have every theater of the war represented in 1788, built to be a library, built in the Richardsonian Romanesque style. Today that is an event venue for the Ogden Museum of Southern Art. Now, as we head through the next intersection, on our left is going to be the Civil War Museum. It's going to look like a little red church. That actually started out as an oyster harvesting boat. It was a boat designed to carry a very heavy load, like a load of oysters, in very shallow water, like Lake Pontchartrain, on the back of the city. So Lake Pontchartrain is actually not even a lake. It's a pretty shallow estuary, average depth about 15 feet. Now, being an estuary, it gets tidal flow from the Gulf, so depending on the time of day and the tides, the water in Lake Pontchartrain could be fresh water, salt water, or brackish water, which is a mixture of the two. Now, with brackish water comes the terrifying phenomenon of having both bull sharks and alligators in the same water. But back to the Higgins boat. It was then modified to run alcohol across Lake Pontchartrain during Prohibition. So the city was never actually truly dry. It was considered to be the wettest city in the United States. At the height of Prohibition, there were more than 5,000 speakeasies operating within the New Orleans city limits. So then it was modified one more time. That's when it became known as the Higgins boat. Italian lines, they were usually built to be singles or doubles.
That's pretty neat. Old
And a side hall, exactly what it sounds like. You go inside, hallway on one side, rooms on the other. We have some side hall American townhomes coming up on our right. So these on our right date back to the 1820s, except for the third one on our right, the really white one. That one dates all the way back to early 2019. The neighborhood we're in right now is called the Lower Garden District, and that is just because it is lower down the river than the Garden District. The trees we're going to be heading under, these are live oaks. We call them live oaks.
We've seen a lot of those.
Because they keep the green leaves year round. New Orleans is home to some of the oldest live oaks in the United States. Some in City Park, more than 900 years old.
They are old.
Next set of trees we're heading under, these are some southern magnolias. Camelback. So up ahead, we're going to be making a turn. We are on Magazine Street. We're going to be remaining on Magazine Street. This just is where the streets follow the curvature of the river. So the river makes a turn here. We're going to turn along with it. We're going to start about 6 miles of shopping, restaurants, bars, and boutiques. In the next 4-block area alone, you can find just about any kind of food you'd like to eat. Got everything from Vietnamese, Korean barbecue, Mediterranean, Latin food, Jewish deli, seafood, even an Irish pub with really good Cuban dishes and no Irish dishes at all. Coming up on our right, over in the park, going to be a statue of Sophie B. Wright. She was an educator. So here she comes on our right. Really, all I have to say about her, she has the biggest set of man hands you've ever seen on a statue. Her left hand's enormous and her feet are really tiny. This is actually my neighborhood. I live a block and a half to the right, St. Andrew, about to cross over it. If the weather holds out, and I think we're good, if anybody wants to come by for cocktails on the front porch after the buses quit running, I'm totally okay with that. Block and a half to the right, St. Andrew. I'm crossing it right now.
Back up on top. Got a little
Right,
windshield
we are
here.
head to stop number 12. That'll put you right in the heart of the Garden District.
Yeah, good view up here on the outside here.
So average home price in the Garden District, just under $1.5 million. Which is why I live 2 streets over in the Lower Garden District.
Wow.
Now with that big price tag, we do have a few celebrities living in the Garden District. The actor John Goodman is a full-time resident. Just down the street from John Goodman, Sandra Bullock's home. Most recent celebrity couple to move into the Garden District, that'd be Beyonce and Jay-Z, purchased a home over on Harmony Street. We're going to ride by that one in just a little bit. Neighborhood on our right is the Garden District. The neighborhood on our left is called the Irish Channel. It is called that because when the Irish settled in the area, they settled in the channel area between the river about 6 blocks to our left and the Garden District on our right, because most of them worked in river-related industries. Also settling in the area, a large number of Germans. Right, we're going to be pulling into stop number 12, Heart of the Garden District. Shopping, restaurants, bars, boutiques, coffee shops, a walking tour, and brunch. Joey K's. That's a favorite restaurant not only with visitors but locals as well. They're known for dishes like their fried chicken, but also for being on the TV show Diners, Dragons, and Dives, so you know the food's really, really good. Coming up on our right, Hadel's Bake Shop, great little German bakery. Just past it on the right is a Vintage. The Vintage is a coffee/cocktail bar. They have really good beignets in the Vintage. All right, we're going to pull into stop number 13, Final Magazine Street Stop. Do we have anyone hopping off at our stop number 13? Here are some shotgun-styled homes. Traditionally, a shotgun-styled home, 12 by 60 feet, and just a room behind a room behind a room. Now, a lot of folks think the word shotgun comes from being able to open the front door, open the rear door. You fire a gun, one little pass through without actually hitting anything. But it's actually a West African style of architecture. It was brought over from West Africa to what is now Haiti. And it was all about ventilation, about staying cool. Following the Haitian Revolution, many people came to our city because we are French friendly. Brought that style of architecture with them because our climate normally is very similar to Haiti, very warm and very humid, and that's all about ventilation. Now, the West African word for that style home is shogun, meaning place of assembly. And you know how we Americans like to butcher other people's languages. Over time, the word shogun became shotgun. Right is the fresh market, and not so fresh history of the fresh market, because that used to be a funeral home, so kind of gross when you think about it. Dates back to 1883. Look to your right, see that structure with gold foil? That's a viewing stand for our upcoming parades. That one's a privately owned one, but you're going to see these popping up all over St. Charles Avenue. So here it is on our right. That faded pink and gray church is Beyonce's and Jay-Z's house. You can see it again between these two houses on our right, and then the back of it as we pull away. So it does span the entire block. Back on the market, if anyone's looking, just under $4.5 million, but kind of a fixer-upper. On our left is the Elms. Nobody ever looks at it. Everybody's always still looking at Beyonce's house. And then Christchurch Cathedral. They were just the first to arrive. Coming up on our right, on the next block, is going to be a Big Tan house, 4 Big Tan fluted columns out in front. It's a very Greek revival house. So here it comes on our right. This is Belfort Mansion. If you're a fan of MTV's Real World, that was Real World New Orleans. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I owned a big, beautiful mansion on St. Charles Avenue, I think probably the last thing I'm doing with it is renting it out to MTV. But apparently it was an extremely lucrative deal, and they just couldn't turn it down. 1,000 pieces, a chef and a businessman from New Orleans purchased the pieces, brought it here, reconstructed it, and opened up a restaurant. But we caught the light, so it used to be on the Eiffel Tower, going to be coming up on our right. So here it is on our right, a little piece of the Eiffel Tower, right here in New Orleans. All right, stop 15, final St. Charles Avenue stop. Do we have anyone hopping off at our stop 15? Calling at us. So now he's honking at somebody else. You see a little bit of everything up here. So on our left in the neutral ground, which you might call a median in your city, you'll see those streetcar tracks. That's for the Green Line, also called the St. Charles Line. The Green Line is the oldest continually operated streetcar line or passenger railway car line in the world. It has been in continuous operation since 1835. Some of the cars themselves date back to the 1920s, so it really is a rolling piece of history. The beads are there because this is part of our main parade route. So a lot of folks think during carnival season that all of the action takes place in the French Quarter, but some of the floats in these parades are a half a block long, story and a half tall. They don't really fit into the French Quarter. So for about 2 weeks, it is Parade Central right here on St. Charles Avenue. More viewing stands on our right. But how did the beads end up in the trees? Well, you're in a parade. You're on a float. Float is moving. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's drinking that goes on these floats. It's hard to believe. It's actually enough drinking. This city requires that you wear a city-approved harness, and you must be tethered to the float at all times. And that is because people who have been drinking have a tendency to fall off the floats. It's happened more than once in one parade on one float. So you're in the parade, you're on the float is moving. Your aim is now not what it was a couple of cocktails ago. And you go to throw the beads and you pass by a tree. Well, sometimes the trees get the beads and sometimes the people do. Now, I'd say the amount of beads in the trees right now, well under 5% of what is up there following Mardi Gras Day. Down the weather does that for us. Coming up on our left, the brick building with the domes, built in 1918 as a Shriners Temple. The rest of her fortune, she left to the orphans of New Orleans. So they erected a statue in her honor shortly after her death. That statue in 1884, making it the oldest statue in the United States on public ground dedicated to a woman. So carnival season, we are in it. It starts every year on the same date. Starts on January 6th. That's what's known as 12th Night or King's Day, and it runs until Mardi Gras Day. Now the date of Mardi Gras Day changes every year because it depends on when Easter falls. Mardi Gras Day is always the day before Ash Wednesday. It is called Fat Tuesday. Now back up about 2 weeks from Mardi Gras Day, that's when our big St. Charles Avenue parades start to roll. During that 2-week period, we will have parades on most of those days, usually somewhere between 2 to 5 parades on each of those days. It is a whole lot of parades. Final count for the Metro New Orleans area this past year was 58 parades, so it's a whole lot of parades. Float parades, they're going to be in the French Quarter. Crew of Boheme is tonight at 7, and Crew de Vue tomorrow night at 6:30. As we make our turn, up ahead of us, our convention center named for Ernest M. Morial. He was known as Dutch Morial. He was our first African-American mayor. The convention center, this gray building with a blue stripe in front of us, 7/10 of a mile long, 1.1 million square feet of continuous exhibition space. Suites, there is a Katrina Memorial at this stop, and this is our closest stop to Mardi Gras World, where you can see how Mardi Gras is made. All right, do we have anyone hopping off at our stop number 16? The Riverwalk, that's the outlet mall. The Riverwalk is the oldest urban outlet mall in the United States. This is probably also the only one where you can go inside, purchase a daiquiri, walk around shopping with your daiquiri in hand. Let that daiquiri help you make some seriously questionable fashion decisions. In the 50s, when they invented shipping containers, they no longer needed the warehouses. The containers could sit right down on the docks. Area got a little bit of a boost in the 1980s. We had our 1984 World's Fair in this area of high ground along the river called the Sliver on the River. Don't forget your hop on pass, get your discounts all over the city. You get $5 off any of the swamp tours with the Jean Lafitte Swamp Tours. Get $5 off any of the river cruises on the Creole Queen. You get $5 off View Orleans, the interactive cultural exhibit on top of the Four Seasons. You get discounts for Mardi Gras World, the World War II Museum, and any of the Audubon collection, the aquarium, the insectarium, and the Audubon Zoo. If you are headed to Caesars/Harrah's while you're here, check our city deals right down below. Grab that Harrah's pamphlet. That's going to get you $5 of free slot play inside Caesars Casino. Go. So once we clear the big green bush that's on our right, look to your right behind that bush. You'll see Winston Churchill over there. There he is. They say he's holding up the victory symbol. I say he is in New Orleans. He is actually ordering 2 gin and tonics. All right, we're going to be pulling into stop 18. Shops at the Riverwalk, the Outlet Mall, Creole Queen, the Riverboat, View Orleans, the Audubon Aquarium, the Insectarium, and the Ferry Terminal. Do we have anyone hopping off at our stop at 18? In the United States. That was it. That's all there was to it. Yeah, you're probably going, hang on a second. I've seen a street wider than that. I'll tell you how we win this one. If you've seen a street wider than Canal Street, you're probably looking at an avenue or a boulevard. So Canal Street is the widest street designated as a street, nearly 180 feet wide. And it was named for a canal that we never dug. We dug a whole lot of canals into the city. Canal Street, not one of them. All right, we're going to be pulling into stop number 19, Shops at Canal Place. That's an upscale shopping mall, stores like Saks Fifth Avenue, Louis Vuitton, Brooks Brothers, and Tiffany. Do we have anyone hopping off at our stop number 19? All right, we are all remaining up top for stop 19. That's Jackson Square. You can explore the St. Louis Cathedral. That's open during the day if you want to go in and look around. 3 museums surrounding Jackson Square, the Cabildo, the Presbytery, the 1850s house. If you're looking for Cafe Du Monde for your beignets, Cafe LA, stop number 1 as well. If you are looking for the walking tour, the French Quarter, that departs just past stop number 1, 700 Decatur Street, right out in front of the Hop on Hop Off office. That tour is at 11, 12, 1, 2, and 3. It is included in the price of your 2- and 3-day tickets. All right, stop 19, last chance. Anybody hopping on? We are all remaining up top. You can go on a carriage ride. You can pick the carriages up right out in front of Jackson Square. Now, if you get over there and you're like, holy cow, these horses have really big ears, It is because they are actually all mules. Only mules can pull the carriages in a French quarter. That's been a city ordinance since the 1980s. And it's just because mules are better suited for the work than horses. They can work longer, harder, and in hotter conditions because they are part desert animal. 18, putting a foothold on the river for France. So here he comes on our left. He's depicted with a priest that he traveled with, as well as a Native American holding a peace pipe to symbolize the good relationship he had with the Native Americans who are here. Just kidding, that's usually when half the bus empties out. I'll actually meet you guys downstairs by the door so I can point you in the direction of whatever it is you might be looking for. As you hop off the bus, I'm going to hand you a card. It has my name on it, has Lita's name on it. That's who you rode with today. If you enjoyed the ride, flip the card over, scan the QR code on the back, leave us a review, mention us by name, and our boss reads every single one of those. Which brings me to, if you did not enjoy the ride, totally disregard what I just said about the QR code. My name's Amy, and that is Melissa downstairs driving us around. No, just kidding, guys. Don't leave any good reviews for Amy. Somebody said some very nice things about Amy recently. Could not make my boss understand they were talking about me. Because we don't have any employees named Amy. All right, looks like we're going to be pulling onto the next block. All right, so once we get pulled in, come to a complete stop. We will let you guys make your way down. Thank you, down below by the door. But once again, all complaints go to $10 bills, go right on Leah's hands. She'll get them where they need to go. Promise you guys that. Watch your step popping off. You guys enjoy the French Quarter.
Thanks for saving my seat. Thanks for saving my seat. Are you enjoying it so far? You're learning a lot?
These are, in fact, the oldest continually operated apartment building. Hazards brought that game back to the city with him. It evolved over time into the game of craps. Now, how it got that name? The Creoles noted in order to play the game, you actually had to squat down to roll the dice, but it's not. All right, so here we go. Once you're a little more than halfway through the intersection,
way down there, yeah.
Start looking to your right, back on the horizon for the two towers that are actually a bridge. It is a bridge that connects the Ninth Ward and the Lower Ninth Ward. You heard a lot about the Lower Ninth Ward following Hurricane Katrina. That was an area that took in well in excess of 10 feet of trees for the steeple. So here it comes on our right. This steeple is on St. Augustine. St. Augustine is the oldest African-American Catholic parish in the United States, dating to 1841. If you miss the steeple, once you clear the building and tree to our right, you can look to your right, look back, you'll see it. August 29, 2021, Hurricane Ida came through our city as a very powerful Category 4 hurricane, damaging St. Augustine. So it is closed right now for renovation in the city, and that included enslaved people. But now Sunday, that was God's day, and after church under French law, the enslaved had the day off. They'd gather here at Congo Square. There they could play music, trade, interact with free people of color. That tradition carries on today. On Sundays, you'll see people gathered at Congo Square. There was a barrel there just a couple of weeks ago, and you must be with a licensed tour guide to go inside. You cannot go in on your own. Tours are between 9 a.m. to...
Fritzl's, the German jazz club. It's in about the 700 block of Bourbon, and it opened up in 1969. It's not German jazz, but it's Germans that own it.
We just want to see the
Okay.
street.
So the Bourbon Street, how many blocks is Bourbon Street?
About 15.
Oh, 15, boy, that's pretty long.
The quiet end is the end away from Canal Street. What I call the dangerous end, and it's being honest,
Right.
is 1, 2, and 3 block, 1,
Oh.
2, and 300 blocks of Bourbon.
300, okay.
You'll see if you go there.
Oh, yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
It's been
Hold on to your
30
wallet, huh?
It's been 30-some years.
And your beer.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right.
Wait, is this thing on? Are we live?
Got off on Canal Street. We're going down towards Bourbon Street. What kind of bourbon do you like? Anyway. Okay, we are entering the first part of Bourbon Street. Yeah, it's a walking street. Wow, look at all this stuff. It's kind of like little memorials for people. Wow, look at all them beads. Candles down here. So this is Bourbon Street. We're also looking for some food. That's kind of nice. You can walk down the street without the dodge traffic, though. We might find something down here, but if you want that, though. So this is Crystal Burger Place. We got a couple of burgers here on Bourbon Street, but those burger patties are like a 16th inch.
You get one pickle.
One pickle. Ah, oh well. Well, the sun's coming out on Bourbon Street. It goes down to 15 blocks, so. And they're gonna have a parade here tonight, I guess, but I don't think we'll make that one. Walking down Bourbon Street, lots of noise, people. What's your first impression? Jazz going on there sometime or other. Lots of stuff to buy and things like that. Old door hardware in this old bar here. See the old doors and stuff, you know?
Oh, the doors.
Yeah.
Look at the card there.
The old bar in there, you know? These are the Legends Park. There's like bronze statues where you can listen to music and have a sandwich. I lost Leah. There she is.
Look at food again.
You what?
Look at food again.
Okay. So down here, they got all these little balconies here. That's kind of the classic New Orleans Bourbon Street look there. And you can drink on the sidewalk down here as long as it's not in glass. Any other container, you can drink anything down here. I don't know what that kind of music is. Pretty crazy here. Oh, pizza by the slice and bar stuff. Leah's gonna check out this store. You need a new dress. There's a bikini. Holy moly. Oh yeah. Yeah, New Orleans stuff. Look at this girl. Robot girl. Wow. All kinds of little jazz statues here. And some drunken alligators. Well, that's a real gator. He's mean looking. Look at that eyeball. Her pizza looks pretty good. This is more of the original Bourbon Street here. Sure, loud music back there. It's a party area. Leah's braving another store here with all kinds of sparkling stuff. Okay, here we are. What do you think?
That's kind of busy.
The transgender people from its Stonewall National Monument website, Councilman Eric Potter criticized
He's shopping. Oh, she found some crawfish earrings or little pins again.
Chocolate prices are up 20% this Valentine's Day. TMZ reports
Benet mix. It's kind of like fried bread, French donuts.
Reportedly contacted
I haven't tried one of those yet.
This comes after her controversial Grammys appearance in a transparent.
Seafood and po' boys. Dining in there. The heart of Bourbon Street. I didn't think they could drive on Bourbon Street. Yeah, they're getting ready for the parade tonight. Oh yeah, we're getting weirder and weirder as we go this way.
Oh, they caught you there.
But this one is about that one. That's cute
Following Leah down Orleans and Bourbon Street. Radio Northwest.
And each one of them.
The honky tonk, honky tonk. There goes Leah. Well, we're going to go down this street towards the flea market in the market district, or yeah, what do they call that? Yeah, this way right here. Let's go, I guess. Bourbon Street, going off Bourbon, heading to the French Quarter. Modern art in there. And Leah's got coffee in her now, and she's ready to hit it. Lots of old ironwork that's hundreds of years old down here. Look at this place up here. He's ready for the parade and the party up there. Yeah, I would say they know how to party up there. This girl here, she lost her head. Oh, that's sad. There goes Leah, better catch up. Looks like the middle of the street photo shoot going on. Well, you gotta do something. There's somebody sleeping on the sidewalk there. Yeah, keep going, straight ahead. You keep walking. I'm gonna take a picture of your fancy bag you got on the back. That's one of them big gaddies or something like that. You got it at Costco. A waterproof backpack purse-like thing. She likes a radical looking electric bike. Cafe here. Well, this is the French Quarter area. I just wanted to pop over here to the river area. You can look at the mighty Mississippi over here, so I thought I would check that out. Yep, there's the mighty, muddy Mississippi there. All the way up that way, and it dumps in the ocean down that way. And it's, I guess, downtown New Orleans. Kind of a river walk right here. Wild, huh? French Quarter Market. The official French market of the French Quarter. And Leah's excited, are you? Hot chocolate, hot coffee. I hadn't already had. Yeah. Okay, so at least they have some food in here and stuff. All the crab boil stuff. I like that. I'm just following Leah through this madhouse. It's not as bad as Pike's Market. Hey, beignets. I'm looking for one of those. Upside down oysters. Huh. I don't know what that means. Look at them in the face. Oh, okay. Nothing like a good shrimp taco. Noisy in here. Lots of activity. Oh, he's doing oysters right there. Yeah, they're fresh anyway. Cracking them right there. And just like Florida, you got to have your crocodile heads, or alligator heads. I mean alligator. See if your eyes are bugging out yet. We're getting towards the end. See if Leah can make it through. Hey. Burlized oyster shells. Extras.
Mural of a man with an eye patch. His name was James Booker, a prodigy at the piano. He taught Harry Connick Jr. and Dr. John how to play the piano. He was their teacher.